Welcome to Stirring the Cauldron. Now, here's your host, Marla Brooks.
Merry meet everybody, and welcome once again to Stirring the Cauldron here on the Para X Radio Network. Tonight's opening song was January Man by Dave the Bard. And what he said about this song was, as we move through each year, it's like these brothers accompanying us on our journey. And then the January man comes round again in woolen coat and boots of leather as another year begins. Now that's appropriate to this week's show because I'll be talking about the Wheel of the Year. And since tonight is New Year's Eve, I think it's a perfect time to talk about the wheel. Now the term Wheel of the Year is used to refer to the changing of the seasons. The spokes of the wheel are comprised of the greater and lesser Sabbats. The Wheel of the Year is seen to begin at Samhain, which is also known as Halloween, and this is the Celtic New Year. The wheel represents a full cycle of the seasons. Each season is marked by a series of holy days called Sabbats to honor the particular qualities of each time of year, life's lessons as revealed through nature, and our relationship with the goddess and God. These holy days are divided into what is termed the greater Sabbats and the lesser Sabbats, which reflect the themes of birth, death, and rebirth. The greater Sabbats, which actually begin sundown the previous day, are Imbolc, Beltane, Lughnasadh, or Lammas, and Samhain. The greater Sabbats are higher spiritual occasions undertaken with the greatest regard and dignity. The lesser Sabbats are Yule, the winter solstice, Ostara, the spring or vernal equinox, Letha, the summer solstice, and Mabon, the fall or autumnal equinox. The lesser Sabbats, although called lesser, are not to be thought of as any less spiritually important or significant as the others. These are the points when the lessons of balance and place in time take on a greater meaning. So tonight we're going to visit each of the Sabbats, both verbally and with the help of musicians and singers like Lisa Thiel, Dave the Bard, and Spiral Dance. So we'll also be visiting these Sabbats in song. Now, even though Samhain is considered our pagan New Year, tonight I'm going to begin with the Sabbat of Imbolc, which kind of matches up better to the calendar that we all know. Imbolc falls on February 1st and is also known by Christians as Candlemas. It's a Celtic fire festival and a time of reawakening, a lighting of the way to new hope as the first quickening of the earth heralds the beginning of spring. Even though some of us can't see it through the cover of white snow, at Imbolc we know the spring bulbs have sent their runners into the earth, that the ice floes on our lakes and rivers have begun to thin and move, and that the first of the young animals due in spring have been born. The flame of the candle represents the transformation and the power of the Spirit, and this is the time of cleansing and purification. It's a time to sow the seeds of our lives for the upcoming year, and also a time when we anticipate the earth's rebirth. It's a holiday of preparedness. Our homes are scrubbed from floor to ceiling, bills are paid, and taxes are filed so that none of the business of winter interferes with the pure joy of the earth's rebirth. It's a good time to get rid of the things that may stand in our way as far as goals are concerned and prepare ourselves for initiation or rededication to deeper spirituality. The Sabbat honors Breed, the goddess of inspiration, healing, smithcraft, sacred wells, fire, and the hearth. Her inspiration leads us to truth. Her waters heal us, and her flames burn within our hearts.
Blessed Bridget, comest thou in? Bless this house and all of our kin. Bless this house and all of our kin. Protect this house and all within. Blessed Bridget, come into thy bed, with a jam at thy heart and a crown on thy head. Awaken the fire within our souls. Awaken the fire that makes us whole. Blessed Bridget, Queen of the Fire, help us to manifest our desires. May we bring forth all that's good and fine. May we give birth to our dreams in time. Blessed Bridget, calmest thou wind, bless this house and all of our kin, from the source of infinite light. Kindle the flame of our spirits tonight. Blessed Bridget, come into thy bed, with a gem at thy heart and a crown on thy head. Awaken the fire within our souls. Awaken the fire that makes us whole. Blessed Bridget, Queen of the Fire, help us to manifest our desires. May we bring forth all that's good and fine. May we give birth to our dreams in time. Blessed Bridget, calmest thou wind, bless this house and all of our kin, from the source of infinite light. Kindle the flame of our spirits tonight.
Ostara takes place between March 19th and the 22nd and is sometimes referred to as the Spring Equinox. The earth is now clearly awakened from her slumber. The day and night are equal, but the light is gaining. Life is gaining in momentum as well. It takes place around the same time as the Christian Easter celebration and, in the Jewish tradition, Passover. Spring equinox is a time for fertility and sowing of seeds, and so nature's fertility goes a little crazy at times as well. In medieval societies in Europe, the March hare was viewed as a major fertility symbol. Now this is a species of rabbit that is nocturnal most of the year. But in March, when mating season begins, these bunnies are everywhere all day long. The female of the species is said to be able to conceive a second litter while still pregnant with the first. And if that wasn't enough, the males tend to get frustrated when rebuffed by their mates, and they bounce around erratically when discouraged, which explains the old saying, mad as a March hare. Now this is a time of feasting and celebration. There's a sense of energy and promise. This is when the clover appears in the fields, the symbol of the rebirth of the maiden aspect of the triple goddess, is apparent as well.
Spring, praise to all living things, praise to the maiden and the joy that she brings, praise to the earth, let all the creatures now sing, hope is renewed with the coming of spring. voice and the wise crone within. Return to the maiden and creation begin. It's a time for things growing, a time now for flowing, a time now for sowing the seeds of your dream. So praise to the spring, praise to all living things, praise to the maiden and the joy that she brings. Praise to the earth, let all the creatures now sing. Hope is renewed with the coming of the spring. The heart fires are stirring with the new life returning. It's time now for learning what rebirth truly means. And we honor ourselves and all the fairies and elves. May we dance and ring bells for the coming of the spring. So praise to the spring, praise to all living things, praise to the maiden and the joy that she brings. Praise to the earth, let all the creatures now sing. Hope is renewed with the coming of the spring. So open your heart to nature's wondrous art. It's time now to start the healing of the green. Young rabbits abound, and there's flowers all around. The air is filled with the sound of the coming of the spring. So praise to the spring, praise to all living things, praise to the maiden and the joy that she brings. Praise to the earth, let all the creatures now sing. Hope is renewed with the coming of the spring. Wondrous art. It's time now to start the healing of the green. Young rabbits abound, and there's flowers all around. The air is filled with the sound of the coming of the spring. So praise to the spring, praise to all living things, praise to the maiden and the joy that she brings. Praise to the earth, let all the creatures now sing. Hope is renewed with the coming of the spring.
Now, Beltane falls on May 1st. It is also referred to as May Day, and it's a Celtic fire festival, literally meaning bright fire. It refers to the ritual extinguishing and rekindling of all fires. Fire means warmth. It means life. It means transformation. The sun god comes to the earth goddess, signaling good fortune and change. It's celebrated with bonfires and maypoles and dancing. The Celts honored the fertility of the gods with gifts and offerings. Cattle were driven through the smoke of the bale fires and blessed with health and fertility for the coming year. In Ireland, the fires of Tara were the first ones lit every year at Beltane, and all other fires were lit with a flame from Tara. It's the first day of summer and celebrates the half of the year dedicated to growth and fertility. This is a celebration of life above all.
Hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer,
Hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane. High on Mount Caban we look down on Token land. The mist rolls away, catch the sun on the sea. The ring of the Morris bells brings on the May morning. Set free your spirit, come dance of the dawn. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane. Down west in Padstow the wee horse spins round and round, pied by the teaser who's calling him on. The rhythm of the drums in the hills up above the town brings out the people for dancing and song. High on Mount Caban we look down on Token land. The mist rolls away, catch the sun on the sea. The ring of the Morris bells brings on the May morning. Set free your spirit, come dance of the dawn. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane. The sun on the sea. The ring of the Morris bells brings on the May morning. Set free your spirit, come dance of the dawn. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane. High on Mount Caban we look down on Token land. The mist rolls away, catch the sun on the sea. The ring of the Morris bells brings on the May morning. Set free your spirit, come dance of the dawn. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, light your bonfire. Today is Beltane.
Litha falls between June 19th and the 22nd and is also known as midsummer or the summer solstice. It represents the time of fulfillment. Midsummer is one of the significant turning points of the year. The sun is at its highest point in the heavens, and it's a time of celebration of the earth in full glory. But it's also a time for the realization that change is inevitable, and anticipation of the harvest is to come. The battle of the Oak King and the Holly King happens twice a year. At Yule, the Oak King kills the Holly King, and then reigns until midsummer, or Litha. And then once the summer solstice arrives, the Holly King returns to do battle with the Old King and defeats him. The Holly King then rules until Yule. And here's how the story goes.
The Colloquy of the Oak and Holly King by Dave the Bard and Kerry Lee. It is said, At the time of the solstices, two great kings do battle. The oak king who rules the waxing year, and the holly king who rules the waning year. This is not a battle of heat, but rather is a battle of light, and reflects the arc of the sun as it makes its journey across our skies. Some say that the battle is won and lost by the power of sword, but here the oak and holly king enter a colloquy, an ancient bardic battle of words and wit, to win the crown and the light of the land.
Cold and bright, the solstice dawn breaks through the doorway of the passage graves. Time out of mind, the stones have stood, marking the nadir of the sun's journey across the sky. Placed by our ancient hands, with stone on stone they were shaped and pulled from the earth's embrace. With magic they were raised upon our sacred land. And at this time of the solstice, a figure waits within the tomb. He waits in darkness and in stillness. He waits for the coming dawn, the rising of the sun, and the footsteps of his brother as the awen is sung.
The oak king turns to greet the holly king and asks, "Brother, what is your name?" To which the holly king replies, not hard to answer, "I am Araun, lord of the waning year. I am the king of holly. I strip bare the leaf-ridden trees. I bring darkness to this land and peace. I banish the warmth of summer and welcome the iciness of winter. And you, my brother, what is your name?" To which the oak king replies, not hard to answer, "I am Havgan, lord of the waxing year. I am the king of oak. I bring bud to leaf. I bring life to the earth. I banish the cold of winter and welcome the warmth of spring. Brother, where do you come from?" To which the holly king replies, not hard to answer, "I come from Anun, the other world, and at the time of your greatest power I am born into this world of Arbred. I ride on Rhiannon's horse to claim my throne. Laughing with the wild hunt, I ride through the night sky. My cold breath makes way for the coming of the Cailleach, and the land is bathed in the beauty of ice and darkness. Whilst Anun blossoms in your heat, so Arbred has peace, reflection, and renewal, guarded by Orion of the Silver Belt. And you, my brother, where do you come from?" To which the oak king replies, not hard to answer, "I come from Anun, the other world, and at the time of your greatest power I am born into this world of Arbred. Called by the singing of the birds of Rhiannon, the warmth of my breath and my seed awakens the life within my queen, and the land is bathed in the beauty of our love. Whilst Anun is ruled by winter and ice, so Arbred blossoms, caressed by the heat of my gazing eye. Brother, what art do you perform?" To which the holly king replies, not hard to answer, "I give space to thought, bring renewal from death, bring rest to life and transformation to your crown of green. I light the inner fire and the hearth, and quicken the heart of the beast. My bards are the stillness of the winter sky, the reflection on the water, the tears of the ice. Life returns to that space where dreams are foregathered. Lovers lie before the flickering fires in their homes, and new life is nourished as my lady strips bare the branches and lays her cloak of white across the land. And you, my brother, what art do you perform?" To which the oak king replies, not hard to answer, "I lift the saddened heart, bring life to death, shape the hidden green. Give flight to birds and insects. My bards sing upon their wing. My orchestra plays music within the land. Life returns, and in that space where thought becomes dream, lovers walk upon the warm earth and lay under the stars and the sun together. And I am here, brother, to take my crown. The Holly King places the crown on the Oak King's head and says, "Then take this crown, but know this, even though you begin your rule, my frost will form, my touch will turn leaf to earth, turn the fields to hardened mud, and I will cool the oceans. For although you take the power of light, I retain the power of winter, until your lady joins you at Beltane."
Lunasa is on August 1st. It's the festival of sacrifice, also known as Lammas, and is the first of the 3 Celtic harvest festivals. Now is the time that we too reap the harvest of our own seeds that were sown at Imbolc. The god personifies the spirit of nature that dies each autumn, while the goddess is the principle of eternal life. Now the god is the spirit of the grain, willingly cut down. He is a sacrifice for the sake of the living. His spirit descends into the earth, the womb of the goddess, waiting to be reborn at Yule. By celebrating Lunasa as a harvest holiday, we honor our ancestors and the hard work they must have had to do in order to survive. This is a good time to give thanks for the abundance we have in our lives and to be grateful for the food on our tables. Lammas is a time of transformation, of rebirth, and new beginnings. In some Wiccan and modern pagan traditions, it's also a day of honoring Lu, the Celtic craftsman god. He's a god of many skills and was honored in various aspects by societies both in the British Isles and in Europe. Lunasa is still celebrated in many parts of the world today. Lu's influence appears in the names of several European towns.
While the year is waning, and all about you the bare fingers plead and reach towards the sky. My crown of thorns about my head, when the dark is rising, and from the shadows walks a god, a seed, a hope for brand new life. Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing now? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing? Lunasa, it's the life and the death of the Corn King. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the Corn King. Lunasa, it's the life and the death of the Corn King. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the Corn King. I turn my green face to the sun while the year is waxing, and all about animals call my name in forest and in sky. My horns of velvet reflect the moon, silver wheel of my lady. She comes towards me as the May reveals her white and virgin skin. Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit can you hear them sing? Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king. Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king. Turn my gold face to the sun while the year is waning. The time has come now for my life to end as metal rubs on stone. She comes towards me across the fields, chariot wheels are blazing, her hair on fire, cut me, crush me, bake me, eat me, I am yours. Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing now? Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear the spirits of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing? Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king. Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king. Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king. Lunasa, it's a life and the death of the corn king. Lunasa, life and rebirth of the corn king.
Now, Mabon is the autumn equinox, the second of 3 harvests, and a time of delicate balance between light and dark. It falls between September 19th through the 22nd. This is the time for gathering nuts, berries, and fruits of the vine. It heralds the need for valuing, storing, conserving, and it's a time to recognize our blessings and to honor and thank the goddess and the god. Mabon is the traditional time for celebrations of Thanksgiving and harvest festivals. The goddess is the harvest queen, but the god's presence is shadowy. He's deep within the underworld, and it's said that he is heard in each sigh of the wind and glimpsed in the shades of early dusk. He leads us to the hidden, inward places of our soul and invites us to explore. It's a time to make room for contemplation on the quest for balance. Mabon is considered a time of mysteries, a time to honor aging deities and the spirit world. Considered a time of balance, it's when we stop and relax and enjoy the fruits of our personal harvests, whether they be from toiling in our gardens, working at our jobs, raising our families, or just coping with the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
I hear the rhythm of the distant pagan drums within the hills. Shadows dance in the moonlight. I feel the power of the wise and ancient ones. Now I must go. Where spirit runs with bull and stallion, cross earth and sky and sea, the mabon I shall be. By earth and water, air and fire, with blood and spirit and desire, a fire in my head I will wear, the antlered crown. Fires burning at midnight, across the world I hear my story being told. Father and son, chanting voices at midnight are singing songs about the power that I hold. The newborn son, beyond the world we see, where spirit runs with bull and stallion, cross earth and sky and sea, the mabon I shall be. By earth and water, air and fire, with blood and spirit and desire, a fire in my head I will wear, the antlered crown. And in the forest dance with me, and in your heart you shall be free, for I am you and you will find that you are me. Shadows cast in the sunlight, I see my children turn their eyes towards the sky, towards the sun. Dawn of life in the sunlight, Mithras, Osiris, Dionysus, Hern and Pan, we all are one. Beyond the world we see, where spirit runs with bull and stallion, cross earth and sky and sea, the mabon I shall be. By earth and water, air and fire, with blood and spirit and desire, a fire in my head I will wear, the antlered crown. And in the forest dance with me, and in your heart you shall be free, for I am you and you will find that you are me.
Samhain, or Halloween, is the final harvest, which takes place on October 31st. It is really our most holy and sacred Sabbat. The commencing of the season of darkness, it's the festival of death. And so it is the celebration of the eternal cycle. For without death there can be no rebirth. This is a time that the new cycle truly begins. Samhain is a time of introspection. It's a time to assess and retune ourselves to the beliefs in the oneness of all spirits, and in our firm resolution that physical death is not the final act of existence. The veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, and the consciousness which separates the land of the living from the land of the dead. We remember and honor our loved ones and ancestors. We release the spirits of those we have lost. We mourn, but at the same time we rejoice, because this is the triumph of life. Originally, the Feast of the Dead was celebrated in Celtic countries by leaving food offerings on altars and doorsteps for the wandering dead. Today, a lot of practitioners still carry out that tradition. Single candles were lit and left in windows to help guide the spirits of ancestors and loved ones home.
west wind blows through the hills, bending the wheat, through the bracken, over the gorse, howling across the peat. Elf fires redden the sky, and there's witches on the wind, and it's into the darkness of winter we go as the wheel of the season spins. And on this night serene, when our fires are burning bright, we'll call the Holy Lord to begin our pagan rite. We'll come with sprigs of alder, and we'll come with the leaves of yew, as we step out of the old and dance into the new. On the hills that light the bonfires to burn upon the sacred ground, shadows dance across the flames to the witch bell sound. Spirits call with haunted voices from the other side, and it's into the darkness and out of the light as the earth turns with the tide. And on this night serene, when our fires are burning bright, we'll call the Holy Lord to begin our pagan rite. We'll come with sprigs of alder, and we'll come with the leaves of yew, as we step out of the old and dance into the new. This night will mark the end and beginning of our year. We'll call out to the ones of old to make the future clear. beneath the moon of the elder tree, and by the embers glowing red, they'll pass into the summer land until the winter's fled. And all its nights are wean, when our fires are burning bright, we'll call the Holy Lord to begin our pagan rite. We'll come with sprigs of elder, and we'll come with the leaves of yew, as we step out of the old and dance into the new.
Yule is the winter solstice, and it falls between December 19th and the 22nd. It's the season of midwinter festivities and the return of sun and light. The god as Sunchild is reborn of the Virgin Goddess. We honor the birth and the first hopeful glimmer of light that confirms renewal. Participating in the magic of Yule enables us to join with the potential for rebirth and to be part of the cycle which is central to our existence. Only the Sabbat of Samhain is as rich in sacred symbolism. The evergreen tree, sacred to the goddess who never dies, represents the uniting of the underworld, the world of humankind, and the gods. This is a time of joyousness. It's also a time of reverent reflection on the gifts of the goddess. And the wreath is a symbol of the wheel of the year, ever-changing and never-ending.
Now that Samhain is over, and the sheep have returned to their homes, and the dead have followed the raven song, no longer among us they roam. The wisdom of our ancient past shows us how to ride the storm. For their tunes they swallowed the rising sun, and the mabon is always reborn. Reborn, oh. So come all you people, come and sing with me. Join our voices and sing the long nights away. All over the land a chorus of voices will sing for the rising sun on midwinter's day. On midwinter's day. The land may be barren and lifeless, the ground may be frozen and hard, and the rain that fell has now turned to ice. The winter is showing its card. But now the Sun King has rested, and his eyes have returned to the earth. For 3 days the sun has been still in the sky, but the time has now come for his birth. His birth, oh. So come all you people, come and sing with me. Join our voices and sing the long nights away. All over the land a chorus of voices will sing for the rising sun on midwinter's day. On midwinter's day. Say Jesus was born today. Some say he is the mabon. Some say he is the Son of God, while others the Son of the Sun. Some may listen in woodland for the call of her, while others they hear the clash of swords, for the old king will return. Return home. So come all you people, come and sing with me. Join our voices and sing the long nights away. All over the land a chorus of voices will sing for the rising sun on midwinter's day. On midwinter's day. And sing the long nights away. All over the land a chorus of voices will sing for the rising sun on midwinter's day. On midwinter's day.
So there you have it. We've been around the wheel of the year in 60 minutes, and hopefully none of you are worse for wear. Until next time, everyone, blessed be, Happy New Year, and merry meet again. Good night.
This has been another edition of Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks. Be sure to tune in next week at the same time for another great guest and more cauldron stirring. Any rebroadcast or use of this program without explicit permission is strictly prohibited. Copyright 2013. Moonlight Haw by Kevin MacLeod, licensed through Incompetech.com.